What's up, guys? Here in Saigon, another pretty beautiful day. You can see outside on my balcony. Today I want to talk to you about, is bus travel in Vietnam a safe way to travel? So I met an American woman the other day in District 1. It seemed like she hadn't done much traveling out here in Southeast Asia, and she was really worried about the safety of the bus trip from Saigon to Dalat specifically. So first I'll go over some details about bus travel in Vietnam, and then after that I'll give you some insight into the safety of bus travel in Vietnam and the actual instances of injury or fatality on buses, and then just give you my overall opinion on whether I think bus travel is safe. The short answer to the question is yes, I do. But it all has to do with your level of risk tolerance. So it's a subjective feeling as to whether or not you're gonna feel like it's safe. I'll go over some details about why I think bus travel is safe in Vietnam. Just a disclaimer before I go on is that everyone should gauge their own risk tolerance and make their own safety determinations on their own. I'm not a scientist, I'm not an expert in this field, and I don't claim to be. I've done a few searches online to gather some information, but I do not claim to be an authority on this matter, and everyone should travel at their own risk. So we're gonna go over the two types of long trip buses, which are your regular seat buses, and then your sleeper buses where you actually have like a full bed that you'll lay down on. So which bus you're on corresponds to the length of your trip. If you're on a shorter trip, say from Saigon to Vung Tau, you're going to be on a regular seated bus. So the price of buses goes anywhere from like $5 for a short trip, which would be like from Saigon to Vung Tau, or maybe Saigon to Moc Bai, which is the border with Cambodia, or maybe up to like $8 for a little bit longer trips, and maybe from Saigon to Mui Ne or Saigon to Nha Trang. The price will go up depending on the length of the trip, and then also depending on the amenities that the bus has and kind of just how nice the bus is, how comfortable the seats are, that sort of thing. Bus travel in Vietnam is extremely popular, so there's tons of different operators and there's tons of different trips you can take. So finding a bus to go really anywhere throughout this country or region is fairly straightforward and fairly easy, and also very affordable. So one thing to note first is that overall the attitude of the bus drivers and the staff can be a little bit coarse and unfriendly. Sometimes you'll get lucky and have a friendly staff, but this really shouldn't be your expectation. They'll point you towards your seat, they'll get you a blanket, but they're not going to be as accommodating as, say, a flight attendant on a really nice airline. Most buses will not have toilets also, but they will take breaks about every couple hours so that you can go out, use the bathroom and get a quick snack. I highly recommend that when you make those stops, go straight to the bathroom, take care of your business, have a cigarette if you need to, get your snack, but do everything quickly. Don't really take your time. Stay with the group, because it's not unheard of for people to get left behind. But at the same time, that's pretty rare too. You can alleviate a lot of the worries in terms of the logistics of travel by traveling with someone who speaks Vietnamese, speaking Vietnamese yourself. But overall, just handle your business efficiently and you'll be fine. I've been here over 5 years, traveling throughout this region for over 5 years, and I've never been left behind or had an issue like that. As I said earlier, bus travel is very abundant, it's very easy to find. It is the most popular form of travel here in Vietnam for long distance traveling. It's more popular than plane travel and more popular than train travel as well. So why do people question their safety when they're on the buses? Bus drivers sometimes take some liberties with traffic laws at times. Sometimes they'll pass other vehicles using the opposite lane for traffic. Sometimes they'll be driving on steep and narrow roads. Sometimes they'll be traveling at high rates of speed. Also, sometimes you'll be traveling at nighttime where it's more difficult to see, or in rainy conditions where the roads are a little bit more dangerous. I think these are the reasons why some people question whether or not you're safe on a bus. Also, you're not strapped in necessarily. So maybe on the regular seated bus, you might have a seat belt. And on the sleeper bus, I think they do have seat belts, but no one really uses a seat belt when they're laying down. So you're not as safely strapped in as you would be in, say, like a car. I think then just overall, people are maybe a little bit concerned with unsafe practices in developing countries in general. An important note, though, is that on the whole, over the last decade, traffic fatalities have declined in Vietnam. So they went from about, I saw a study, they went from about 10,000 in 2012 down to about, steadily down to about 7,500 traffic fatalities in 2019. When I searched for fatal bus crashes, I found a single article from 2022, I found a single article from 2019, and I found a single article from 2015. I didn't look any further back than that, but I wasn't finding 10 instances per year or something that would have been pretty alarming or shocking to me. I found another study online that went over bus crashes in the Hanoi area of Vietnam. The study pointed out that the majority of crashes were medium-sized buses, not large-sized buses. So the large-sized buses are the ones that you're going to take your longer trips on. So that could alleviate some concerns with regard to long-distance bus travel here in Vietnam. The study also pointed out that of the collisions, which are very rare in general, less than 10% of them resulted in any fatality. So, and that includes people on the bus or people that they hit, perhaps on a motorbike, etc. When I searched for fatal bus crashes in America, I found that over the past 20 years, there's about 250 to 350 fatalities related to bus crashes each year in America. The fact is that here in Vietnam, motorbike travel is the most popular form of travel for everyday use. And those are the people most at danger. You're on a motorbike, you're most exposed, and you can imagine who's going to take the brunt of the collision between a bus and a motorbike. So overall, I encourage everyone who's on a motorbike, just be very careful in general, especially when you're around buses, cars, trucks. Overall, the locals really trust bus travel here. They use it all the time, it's very popular. I personally have taken several bus trips from here in Saigon to Mui Ne, from here to Dalat, from here to Vung Tau. I've felt safe on all those. I mean, there have been a few sketchy things where, hey, the driver's going kind of fast right now, or he's passing another vehicle, but I never felt like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. So that's all, of course, anecdotal and subjective, but like I said, this entire idea is a subjective matter and related to your personal level of risk tolerance. Another thing too is that these bus drivers, these bus operators, they're not suicidal. They've got lives, they've got families that they want to get back to. So they're not going to go out there and do something that is going to kill them. I sort of trust in my fellow human that that person is going to have a level of regard for their own safety and then a level of regard for the safety of all the passengers. I've never witnessed a bus driver that's overtly inebriated. You know, I've never like smelled alcohol on their breath or anything like that. I don't have a breathalyzer on me, but I haven't smelled anything. So overall, for all these reasons, I think you should feel generally safe when traveling via bus in Vietnam. There might not be, again, I'm not an expert in this field, do not claim to be an authority. There might not be as strict of safety regulations for bus travel here as, say, in America or Australia, but overall, I think you're gonna be fine, and I feel safe doing it, so if I were you, I would feel comfortable too. That said, if you feel uncomfortable about traveling, whether it be via bus or via plane, via car, whatever it is, perhaps reconsider traveling altogether. There's always going to be a level of risk involved in anything. Involved in travel, there are going to be risks. So you need to determine your personal level of risk tolerance and then decide whether or not traveling via a certain mode of transport or in a certain region of the world is something that you are comfortable with. Also, I just want to say there's certain concessions that you are going to make when you are in a developing country. Certain things like maybe the sidewalk is not paved as perfectly as it would be in America, or maybe you find a cockroach in your hotel room. There's little concessions that you make when you're traveling, but I think that the benefits greatly outweigh the concessions because you're enjoying a new cultural experience. You're enjoying an adventure. You're seeing a different way of life. And I think the benefits far outweigh the risks, at least in my eyes. That's why I personally made the decision to travel. So if you're willing to take these risks, and in my eyes they're pretty minor, then you'll get to see more places in your life. If you're not willing to, maybe you won't. And that's okay too. But with regards to bus travel, my personal opinion, do I think it's safe here in Vietnam? Yes. I don't think you should worry about it. But travel at your own risk and live life the way you want to. Anyways, I'm gonna sign off here. Hope you guys enjoyed just that little video about whether or not I think bus travel is safe. If you are interested in traveling to Vietnam or interested in living in Vietnam or moving to Vietnam and how you can do that and maybe how you can make money doing that or set roots here, feel free to reach out to me. Hit me up in the comments and I am more than happy to respond to you. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for watching. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next vlog. Peace.